Hello. This is Von West Virginia, and so just kind of switching things up. Back to bringing my perspective on on the Bible, on God's word, and everything. You know what I'm saying? So this is time for just for season. We desperately need the word even more. Myself especially. You know what I'm saying? So. Like I say, it's a time and place for everything. So, it's a time, really be much more diligent and aware. So, the topic I want to talk about now is, accountability partners, and just for people, because I believe that, the Christian life is so much harder. It's just impossible. Impossible. When you don't have. When you don't have, when you don't have partners, people that you can fellowship and, talk to, they can strengthen you, you can strengthen them, things like that, and, even with, little fellowships and chats and stuff like that, there's a lot of strength that comes through that, and so, I'm just thankful to be, I'm just thankful to be a part of a community, and grateful, to be amongst, other people, who maybe who are going through, some of the same, who are going through, who have been through some of the same stuff, that I've been through, and sometimes, oftentimes in this walk, oftentimes in this walk, you just feel like you're alone. You know what I'm saying? You just feel like, almost feel like you're talking to yourself. You feel like you're just going crazy. And so, and to hear, others' perspectives. You know what I'm saying? At the fellowships I go to, whether I'm at, young adult ministry, young adult choir, stuff like that. To realize, hey, I'm not the only person. I'm not, a lone ranger in this whole thing. I'm not a lone wolf, in this walk. And so, it's very important, to be around, other brethren and stuff like that, to further strengthen you, because, out here, it's very, very tough, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm just talking, the thing I'm talking about, just to have, others that, that will be with you, in this battle, because, it's the time, there's so many people are hurting, you know what I'm saying? So many people, just isolating, they need a word, for strength, and to pick them up. And so, like I say, for those out there, I'm not only speaking to you, but I'm speaking to myself as well, as I bring this out right now. And, in the scripture that, of course, we know the iron sharpens iron. Two or three gathered together. Jesus said, two or three gathered together in my name. There I am in the midst. You know what I'm saying? So, and I could run through a whole laundry list, from the Bible when it comes to, like different accountability partners. Different, accountability partners are people that were agreed, that were on one accord. Whether it was, Moses and Aaron, Moses and Joshua, and of course this message is going to be, something similar to that, and David and Jonathan, Paul and Silas, Paul and Timothy, Peter and John, Daniel and his boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, just all type of different scenarios, where those situations, where there was more than one person that was involved that was going through something, you know what I'm saying? So, that's just, that's definitely proof right there that, that we as believers, really need each other. So, I've been, man, if I could cry, almost, what I'm going to talk about will almost bring tears in my eyes. And, just how grateful and appreciative that I am to be, to truly call myself a child of God and follow Christ. know what I'm saying? So so like, if I share my issues, I won't have to, I won't have to, hold my head down or hide or anything like that, or be ashamed. And like I say, as far as being in this walk, it's very important. To like especially if you're in a battle, it's very important. It's very important, for to have others, holding you up, fighting in the trenches for you, helping you on the left, you're on the right side, left, you're on the right, even as you're in battle, holding the weapon holding the weapon that God has given you. And so, so with Moses, in this case, his main weapon was his rod, the rod, of course, that God gave him as a symbol, of his presence, of his power, and things like that. The very same rod that Moses had used, to hold up and part the Red Sea, and to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. In this case, Moses using the exact same rod. It's very, very symbolic. And so, in the scripture that I'm getting ready to come from is Exodus 17. And so, in this situation, with the children of Israel, fighting against the enemy, fighting against the Amalekites. And so, so here it is. It says, "Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim." And reading from the old King James, by the way. And Moses said to Joshua, "Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand." So, that's what the rod is. So, it says, "So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let it down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the other side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun." And see, and what I'm getting ready to say, and I just want people to really take it into, take this in the proper context. Just because we have, I'm not saying to be super duper dependent, on others, just because they're Christians or something, just be super duper dependent on them, and have less dependence on God. I'm not saying that. It's it's just mostly it was just having a balance. It's just all about balance, in this life or in this walk. And so in these videos I'm doing, I'm trying to keep as much balance as I can. And so as we see, Moses was in the middle of a battle. He was in the middle of a fight with the enemy. And so of course, he couldn't do it alone. So that's why he had the rod in his hand, and of course he was holding it just for a long time. And so in the middle of a battle, even with us, we're fighting something. There are times we just get worn out. And you get so worn out to the point where we desperately, truly need for God. We really this time, we definitely need for God to place others, place people in our lives, that will really fight for us. That will be in the battle, that will be in the trenches. And so Aaron, Aaron was Moses' older brother, so he symbolizes. I guess like an older believer or something like that. Someone that's older and more accountable and stuff like that, and things like that. So in her, we only read about her, only like one time, I think, all throughout the Bible, and it was in this situation. And so those two being on Moses' side, her just happens to be someone that may just come through, just through that one particular season, in a person's life or something. And so, and the fact that, it's somebody that Moses was familiar with, his brother, holding his arm up on one side, and somebody that could have just been there, just for that season, holding his arm up on the other, and just giving them, the ability, the courage to prevail. And so, I believe that's what we desperately need, myself included, to have that balance, just to fight it out and just to show that we're not alone.